Have you ever woken up with numbness in your arm or struggled to find a word mid-sentence and brushed it off as just getting older? Or have you felt a sudden wave of dizziness and chalked it up to standing too fast? Many women over 50 experience subtle warning signs that could point to a deeper concern: stroke risk. Often silent, often underestimated, strokes are one of the leading causes of disability and death in aging women. But here's the hopeful news. Your diet can be one of your strongest defenses. Why this topic is critical for women over 50. Most people associate strokes with older men, but statistics reveal a different reality. According to the American Heart Association, women are more likely than men to die from stroke, and they often have worse outcomes. After menopause, the drop in estrogen levels increases the risk of vascular changes and blood pressure spikes. Aging arteries become less flexible, making them more vulnerable to clots and ruptures. This means that stroke prevention isn't just a health option, it's a necessity, especially for women past midlife. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're exploring how your everyday food choices can secretly dramatically reduce your risk of stroke. You'll walk away with practical insights and real hope. Before we dive in, have you or someone you know experienced a mini stroke or TIA, transient ischemic attack? What dietary habits have you changed over the years to protect your health? Feel free to share your journey in the comments. We read them all and learn from each other. What exactly is a stroke? Let's start with a simple understanding. A stroke happens when blood flow to the brain is blocked or a blood vessel bursts, cutting off oxygen and nutrients. Brain cells begin to die within minutes. The result can be paralysis or weakness on one side of the body, memory and speech problems, loss of independence, and in severe cases, death. There are two main types. Ischemic stroke, 87% of all strokes, caused by a blood clot or buildup of plaque in arteries leading to the brain. Hemorrhagic stroke, caused by a ruptured blood vessel leading to bleeding in or around the brain. The common thread? Blood vessels. And your diet directly affects the health of those vessels. Diet as prevention. What science shows. Decades of research have confirmed that certain foods can either damage or protect your brain's vascular system. A long-term study published in Stroke, a journal of the American Heart Association, found that older women who followed a healthy dietary pattern lowered their risk of ischemic stroke by up to 30%. The most protective diets had more fruits and vegetables, whole grains instead of refined carbs, healthy fats, especially from nuts, seeds, olive oil, minimal processed meats or sugary drinks. In other words, it's not about eating perfectly or avoiding every slice of pie. It's about daily choices that build up over time, either supporting or stressing your brain's blood flow. Aging women, unique risks and needs. So why focus specifically on women over 50? Hormonal shifts. Estrogen protects blood vessels, but levels plummet after menopause, raising the risk of hypertension and high cholesterol. Longer lifespans. Women live longer, so even mild vascular damage accumulates into serious problems by their 70s or 80s. Unique symptoms. Women are more likely to experience non-traditional stroke symptoms like fatigue, confusion, or fainting, often mistaken for aging or anxiety. That's why a proactive approach with food can be so powerful. It quietly strengthens your body before symptoms ever show up. Beyond the plate, additional risk factors to watch. While this series focuses on food, it's helpful to understand the bigger picture. Other stroke risks include high blood pressure. The number one cause? Secondhand smoke exposure, diabetes or insulin resistance, sedentary lifestyle, excess abdominal fat, high LDL bad cholesterol. The good news? Most of these are modifiable with nutrition. That's why our next sections will dive deep into the foods that calm inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and soften artery walls. Starting with simple items already in your kitchen. Takeaway for today: you don't need a complicated plan. You don't need to count every calorie. What you do need is this: awareness. Understand the risks unique to aging women. Consistency. Eat more foods that nourish your vessels. Curiosity. Be open to rethinking what healthy looks like on your plate after 50. Every forkful matters. Every grocery list is a chance to protect your brain. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever experienced a change in your health that made you rethink your eating habits? What's one food you've added or removed for your heart or brain? Section 2. The silent impact of diet on blood vessels. Picture this. Every time you eat, tiny messengers are sent into your bloodstream. Some calm inflammation, relax your arteries, and nourish your brain. Others create tension, thicken your blood, and silently clog your vessels. And you feel nothing until years later when a stroke strikes without warning. This is the silent power of diet. Especially for women over 50, the foods you choose affect your blood vessels in ways that are invisible, yet incredibly impactful. Your vascular system. What's at stake? Your vascular system is your body's network of blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries that carry oxygen and nutrients to every organ, especially your brain. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less elastic, making it harder to manage blood pressure, more prone to plaque buildup, leading to narrowing, atherosclerosis, more fragile, increasing the risk of rupture and hemorrhagic stroke. But here's the key. What you eat either accelerates or slows these changes. What happens after a typical meal? Let's take a look at two contrasting meals and their effects on blood vessels in the hours that follow. Meal A: fried eggs, bacon, white toast with butter, and sweetened coffee. Within 2 hours, blood sugar spikes. LDL cholesterol particles become oxidized, irritating vessel walls. Inflammatory markers, like CRP, increase. Arteries become temporarily stiffer. Triglycerides rise. Repeated daily, this meal pattern contributes to endothelial dysfunction, the early stage of vascular disease. Meal B: oatmeal with walnuts and berries, green tea, and a boiled egg. Within 2 hours, blood sugar rises gently. Fiber slows digestion and supports gut health. Antioxidants from berries neutralize free radicals. Omega-3s from walnuts help reduce artery inflammation. Arteries stay more flexible. This meal supports healthy endothelial function and lowers long-term stroke risk. Endothelial health, the silent protector. Your endothelium is a thin layer of cells lining the inside of your blood vessels. It may be microscopic, but it plays a giant role in your stroke risk. A healthy endothelium helps vessels expand and contract smoothly, prevents clots from forming unnecessarily, reduces inflammation and oxidative stress. But it's fragile, damaged by years of poor food choices, high blood sugar, trans fats, and excessive sodium. Studies show that even a single high-fat, high-sugar meal can impair endothelial function for several hours. Repeated over time, this contributes to plaque buildup, hypertension, and narrowed arteries, all precursors to stroke. What chronic inflammation does to blood vessels. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the most overlooked factors in stroke prevention. Unlike the sharp inflammation you feel with an injury, this version is quiet, continuous, and dangerous. What causes it? Highly processed foods, refined sugar and flour, excess saturated fat, especially from red meat, processed cheese, artificial additives, excess omega-6 oils, corn, soybean. This inflammation irritates vessel walls, causing tiny injuries that invite cholesterol to stick and form plaque. Over time, this leads to narrowed arteries, atherosclerosis, higher blood pressure, greater chance of clots or ruptures. The good news? Anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, turmeric, berries, olive oil, and fatty fish can begin to calm this response within weeks. Oxidative stress and stroke risk. Another silent enemy is oxidative stress, when free radicals outnumber antioxidants in your bloodstream. This stress accelerates aging inside your vessels and brain. Common sources include smoking pollution, fried or burnt food, high alcohol intake, lack of fruits and vegetables. Your protection? Colorful plant foods. Think deep purple berries, bright orange carrots, dark green spinach, red cabbage, yellow bell peppers. Each color family delivers unique antioxidants that help neutralize free radicals and protect your vessel walls from silent damage. The sodium-potassium imbalance. Another under-recognized danger is excess sodium, especially in processed or frozen meals. It causes fluid retention, which raises blood pressure and strains vessel walls. But there's a natural counterbalance: potassium. This mineral helps relax blood vessels, excrete excess sodium, lower blood pressure. Most aging women consume too much sodium and too little potassium. That's why later sections will highlight foods rich in potassium, like sweet potatoes, bananas, lentils, and avocados. Food and blood pressure. A daily dialogue. blood pressure isn't fixed. It changes throughout the day based on stress, hydration, and yes, food. For example, a high-sodium lunch, e.g. canned soup, deli sandwich, can raise BP by 5 to 10 points in hours. A potassium-rich salad with olive oil and seeds can lower it gradually over the afternoon. This means every meal is a conversation with your arteries, either helping them stay relaxed or pushing them towards strain. A story of two women. Let's compare two fictional women, both 68, similar genetics, but different food habits. Martha eats mostly homemade meals with vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, beans, fish, enjoys a daily walk, drinks mostly water and tea. Gloria prefers convenience foods, frozen dinners, takeout sweetened drinks, doesn't cook much, often snacks on chips or crackers. 10 years later, Martha's arteries remain flexible, blood pressure is controlled, memory sharp. Gloria develops high BP, mild memory decline, and suffers a mini stroke. The difference wasn't just genetics. It was years of silent micro-decisions, meal by meal. Your blood vessels are always listening, and food is always speaking. Let every plate be a quiet act of self-care, a way to nourish the vessel that nourishes your brain. A single bowl of lentils can help relax your arteries. A serving of spinach can reduce inflammation. A handful of berries can neutralize free radicals. You don't need perfection, just a daily rhythm of kindness through food. Have you ever noticed how certain foods make you feel more sluggish or more energized? Have you checked your blood pressure recently? Tell us what you've observed. Your story might inspire someone else. 10. Whole grains, the unsung heroes. Examples: oats, quinoa, barley, bulgur. Why they matter: provide soluble fiber, helping remove cholesterol from the bloodstream. Steady blood sugar, preventing vessel damage caused by glucose spikes. Women who ate 2 to 3 servings of whole grains daily had 25 to 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease in long-term studies. Tip: swap white rice for quinoa or use whole grain toast instead of white bread. One meal at a time. How to start. If this list feels overwhelming, begin with one small change. Replace one processed snack with a handful of walnuts or a piece of fruit. Add spinach to your scrambled eggs. Cook beans once a week in soup or chili. Try one new grain like farro or barley. Consistency, not perfection, is your greatest ally. Daily food map. Example: breakfast, oatmeal with berries, walnuts, and cinnamon. Snack, green tea plus apple slices. Lunch, lentil soup with whole grain toast plus avocado. Snack, handful of almonds. Dinner, grilled salmon, steamed broccoli, quinoa, lemon. Dessert, a few pieces of dark chocolate, optional treat. Takeaway for today: you don't need exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. The most powerful stroke prevention foods are often simple, affordable, and already at your local grocery store. Each bite is a message to your blood vessels: I'm taking care of you. I want you to stay open, strong, and flexible. Now it's your turn. What's your go-to power food these days? Have you tried adding any of these stroke-fighting ingredients to your meals? Let us know in the comments. Section 4. The Mediterranean Diet Effect. Imagine a place where women in their 80s still walk to the market, cook fresh meals with neighbors, and rarely suffer from stroke or heart disease. That's not a dream. It's daily life in many Mediterranean communities. And the secret isn't a pill, it's the way they eat. The Mediterranean diet is more than a list of foods, it's a philosophy of nourishment. In this section, we'll explore why this eating pattern is so effective, especially for women over 50, and how you can make it work for your life without moving to Greece or Italy. What is the Mediterranean diet? This diet mirrors the traditional eating patterns of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea, like Spain, Italy, Greece, and parts of France and Turkey. It emphasizes vegetables and fruits at every meal, whole grains, not refined carbs, olive oil as the main fat, fish and legumes more than red meat, moderate dairy, mostly yogurt and cheese, very little sugar or processed food, herbs and spices instead of salt, wine in moderation, optional. And it's not just about what they eat, it's about how, slowly, socially, and mindfully. Proven benefits for stroke prevention. Multiple large-scale studies have confirmed that the Mediterranean diet significantly reduces stroke risk, particularly in postmenopausal women. A 2021 analysis published in Stroke followed over 140,000 women and found that those who most closely adhered to a Mediterranean diet had up to a 22% lower risk of stroke. Another study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that women over 60 following this diet had improved blood pressure, lower inflammation markers, and better cognitive function. Why? Because this way of eating reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, supports healthy cholesterol levels, stabilizes blood sugar, improves vessel flexibility, and reduces clotting risk. Olive oil, the golden elixir. One of the stars of this diet is extra virgin olive oil, a source of monounsaturated fat and polyphenols, which act as antioxidants. Research shows that women who use olive oil daily have 30% lower risk of cardiovascular events, improved HDL-LDL cholesterol ratio, reduced need for blood pressure medication. Tip: drizzle olive oil over roasted vegetables, whole grain bread, or use it as a base for salad dressings. Fish, not fried chicken fish, especially sardines, salmon, and mackerel, are eaten at least twice a week in the Mediterranean way. They provide omega-3s that reduce inflammation and help prevent clots. In women, omega-3 intake is associated with improved artery elasticity and reduced risk of ischemic stroke. Tip: if fresh fish is expensive or unavailable, try frozen wild salmon or canned sardines packed in olive oil. Veggies, beans, and grains galore. Plant foods dominate the Mediterranean plate, not just as sides, but as main dishes. Think tomato and bean stew, quinoa tabbouleh, roasted eggplant with garlic and herbs. These foods lower LDL cholesterol, deliver potassium and magnesium, support healthy gut bacteria, which also affect inflammation. Tip: aim for at least 2 vegetables per meal, even if it's just a handful of arugula on a sandwich or sliced cucumber with hummus. A word on wine, yes or no? In Mediterranean cultures, moderate red wine is often consumed with meals, usually just 1 small glass a day. It contains resveratrol, a compound believed to protect the heart and vessels. But here's the caution: if you don't already drink alcohol, there's no need to start. For those who choose to drink, stick to 1 glass per day. Drink only with food, never as a way to cope with stress. Hydration is more important. Water, herbal teas, and broth-based soups are preferred. Dairy the Mediterranean way. Unlike Western diets that rely on milk or butter, Mediterranean eating uses yogurt, especially plain or Greek style, cheese in small amounts like feta or parmesan. These sources offer calcium and probiotics without excessive saturated fat. Tip: try adding a dollop of Greek yogurt to oatmeal or a few shavings of aged cheese over lentils. Whole grains. Slowly enjoyed bread in Mediterranean cultures is usually made from whole wheat or ancient grains, like farro, eaten in moderation, accompanied by olive oil, not butter. And most meals are eaten without rushing, often in the company of others, which supports digestion and mindful eating. Tip: try farro salad with roasted vegetables or barley soup with lemon and dill. It's a lifestyle, not a diet. Beyond the plate, the Mediterranean approach includes walking daily to markets, gardens, or just for pleasure, sharing meals with family or neighbors, resting and sleeping well, cooking at home more than eating out. These habits support stress reduction and overall health, both of which protect against vascular damage. How to make it work in real life. You don't have to cook fancy Mediterranean recipes to get the benefits. Try these simple shifts. Switch butter for olive oil. Add beans twice a week. Eat fish once or twice per week. Use herbs and lemon instead of salt. Snack on nuts instead of chips. Eat fruit for dessert. Make veggies the star of your plate. Over time, these habits become second nature. Sample Mediterranean-style day breakfast. Greek yogurt with berries, walnuts, and a drizzle of honey. Snack: cucumber slices and hummus. Lunch: lentil and tomato soup with whole grain bread and olive oil. Snack: a small piece of dark chocolate and green tea. Dinner: grilled salmon, quinoa with herbs, roasted zucchini. Dessert: fresh orange slices. Takeaway for today: you don't need to move to a seaside town or grow olive trees to benefit from this powerful way of eating. You just need to eat more plants, fewer processed foods, and cook with joy. In the Mediterranean diet, food is not just fuel, it's connection, pleasure, and protection for your heart, for your brain, for your long, vibrant life. Section 5. The role of potassium and magnesium. What if the most powerful tools to protect your brain were already in your kitchen, not in a pill bottle? Potassium and magnesium are 2 humble but mighty minerals that work silently every single day to keep your arteries open, your blood pressure balanced, and your brain protected. Yet, many women over 50 are unknowingly deficient. In this section, we'll reveal how these minerals support vascular health, which foods contain them naturally, and how to make sure you're getting enough without supplements. Why these minerals matter after 50. As women age, several changes increase stroke risk. Blood pressure tends to rise, arteries become stiffer, kidneys excrete more minerals. Diets often shift toward convenience foods. Low in nutrients, potassium and magnesium directly counter these changes. Here's how. Potassium, the sodium balancer. Potassium helps regulate fluid levels, relax blood vessel walls, remove excess sodium from the body. This is critical because excess sodium is a key driver of high blood pressure, especially in aging adults. The problem? Most women consume far more sodium than potassium. A large NHANES study found that women with the highest potassium intake had a 27% lower risk of stroke, especially ischemic stroke. Magnesium, the calming mineral. Magnesium supports normal heart rhythm, muscle and nerve function, arterial flexibility, blood sugar stability. It also helps regulate calcium, important because excess calcium can stiffen arteries if not properly balanced. Studies show that adequate magnesium intake is linked to lower blood pressure and reduced risk of stroke and cardiovascular death in older women. Are you getting enough? Recommended daily intake. Potassium, 2,600 milligrams for adult women, but optimal for stroke protection is closer to 3,500 to 4,000 mg per day. Magnesium, 320 milligrams for women over 50. But the average American woman gets only 2,200 milligrams of potassium, less than 250 milligrams of magnesium daily. This gap makes your blood vessels more vulnerable and easier for blood pressure to rise unnoticed. Best food sources of potassium. Here's the good news. You don't need to eat a mountain of bananas. Many plant foods are packed with potassium. Sweet potatoes, 1 cup mashed, 750 milligrams. Spinach, 1 cup cooked, 830 milligrams. White beans, half cup, 600 milligrams. Avocado, 1 medium, 700 milligrams. Banana, 1 medium, 420 milligrams. Beets, 1 cup, 500 milligrams. Tomato juice, 1 cup, 550 milligrams. Cantaloupe, 1 cup, 430 milligrams. Tip: spread your potassium-rich foods throughout the day for best absorption and balance. Best food sources of magnesium. These foods provide magnesium while also delivering fiber, antioxidants, and other heart-healthy nutrients. Pumpkin seeds, 1/4 cup, 190 milligrams. Spinach, 1 cup cooked and 50 milligrams. Black beans, half cup, 60 milligrams. Quinoa, 1 cup, 120 milligrams. Walnuts, 80 milligrams. Tofu, half cup, 35 milligrams. Oats, 1 cup cooked, 60 milligrams. Dark chocolate, 1 ounce, 70%, 65 milligrams. Tip: pair magnesium foods with vitamin B6, like from bananas or tuna, to support absorption. A sample magnesium plus potassium-rich day breakfast. Oatmeal with banana slices, chia seeds, and almond butter. Snack: cantaloupe pumpkin seeds. Lunch: spinach and quinoa salad with white beans, avocado, and lemon olive oil dressing. Snack: dark chocolate and walnuts. Dinner: baked sweet potato, sautéed beets, and grilled tofu. Hydration: tomato juice or herbal tea. This daily menu easily provides over 300 to 800 milligrams potassium, over 350 milligrams magnesium. Signs you might be deficient. Especially in older women, deficiencies can show up subtly. Muscle cramps or twitching, fatigue or irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, brain fog or headaches, sugar cravings linked to magnesium need. Many medications, including diuretics, acid blockers, and some blood pressure drugs, deplete potassium and magnesium, making diet even more important. Can you supplement? Food is the safest and most effective way to restore balance, but in some cases, supplements may help, especially if blood work shows a deficiency. Always talk to your doctor before using potassium supplements. Too much can be dangerous for heart rhythm. Magnesium supplements are generally safer, especially magnesium glycinate, gentle on digestion, magnesium citrate, good for constipation, avoid magnesium oxide, less absorbable. Bonus foods that boost both. Some foods are excellent sources of both potassium and magnesium, making them true stroke-fighting champions. Swiss chard, black beans, lentils, avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, pumpkin seeds. Try a lentil and Swiss chard soup or mashed avocado with black bean toast. Why it matters for women over 50. After menopause, declining estrogen increases vascular stiffness and blood pressure. Potassium and magnesium help relax arteries naturally, support kidney function and mineral balance, reduce your body's sensitivity to sodium, protect your brain from microvascular damage. This means fewer headaches, better memory, and lower risk of stroke in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Takeaway for today. You don't have to memorize complicated nutrient charts. Just fill your plate with whole plant-forward foods, and these minerals will take care of your vessels. Each bean, each leafy green, each roasted root veggie, they're all gentle gifts to your body's most important highways, your blood vessels. We'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been told you were low in potassium or magnesium? What foods have you added to feel better or lower your blood pressure? Share your story below. It could help someone else on the same journey. Section 6. Foods that fight cholesterol and plaque buildup. Imagine your arteries as smooth, flexible tunnels that carry oxygen-rich blood to your brain. Now imagine that, over time, sticky particles start clinging to the walls, narrowing the path, slowing the flow, and threatening to block it completely. That's plaque buildup, and one of the biggest contributors, unhealthy cholesterol. In this section, we'll uncover the foods that naturally reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad type, help prevent plaque buildup, and even support the body in clearing existing deposits, especially important for women over 50. Understanding the cholesterol-stroke connection. Cholesterol isn't the enemy. It's a necessary fat your body uses for hormones and cell repair. But when LDL, low-density lipoprotein, becomes oxidized, it can stick to artery walls. Over time, this forms plaque, narrowing the arteries and reducing blood flow to the brain. If a piece of plaque breaks off, it can trigger a clot, blocking blood flow entirely and causing an ischemic stroke. The good news, your food choices can dramatically improve your cholesterol profile. How diet lowers LDL and plaque risk. Certain foods contain natural compounds that lower LDL production in the liver, prevent LDL from becoming oxidized, a dangerous form, raise HDL cholesterol, which helps clean up arteries, reduce inflammation in vessel walls, preventing buildup. Let's explore the most powerful anti-plaque foods. 1. Oats. The morning defender. Oats are rich in beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract and helps remove it before it enters your bloodstream. Studies show that eating just 1/2 cups of cooked oats daily can reduce LDL cholesterol by 5 to 10%. Tip: start your day with oatmeal topped with berries and walnuts for a triple benefit. 2. Beans and legumes. The vascular scrubbers examples: black beans, lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans. These are fiber powerhouses, especially soluble fiber, which acts like a sponge for LDL. They also stabilize blood sugar, support healthy gut bacteria, provide plant protein without saturated fat. A review of 26 studies found that eating 1 serving of legumes daily lowered LDL cholesterol by an average of 6%. Tip: add beans to soups, stews, or salads at least 3 times a week. 3. Berries. The antioxidant shields. Berries like blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that prevent LDL oxidation, a trigger for plaque, lower blood pressure, support vessel wall integrity. Tip: eat to 1 cup daily, fresh or frozen. 4. Extra virgin olive oil, liquid gold for arteries. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and polyphenols that lower LDL, increase HDL, reduce inflammation and oxidation. Women who used olive oil as their primary fat had significantly less arterial plaque in carotid arteries. Tip: use it for cooking or dress salads. Aim for 1-2 tablespoons daily. 5. Avocados, the cholesterol balancer. Avocados contain heart-healthy fats that lower LDL potassium to relax arteries, fiber to help reduce plaque-forming lipids. One study found that women who ate 1 avocado daily for 5 weeks lowered LDL and improved their LDL to HDL ratio. Tip: spread on toast, blend into smoothies, or add to grain bowls. 6. Nuts, heart-healthy fat packs examples: walnuts, almonds, pistachios. Nuts are rich in plant sterols, which block cholesterol absorption, omega-3s, especially walnuts, magnesium, and fiber. A Harvard study of older women found that those who ate 5 servings of nuts per week had 25% lower risk of cardiovascular events, including stroke. Tip: snack on raw, unsalted nuts, 1 small handful per day. 7. Garlic, nature's blood flow enhancer. Garlic contains allicin, which helps reduce total and LDL cholesterol, prevent blood clotting, relax blood vessels, Consistent use may reduce plaque buildup, especially when paired with an overall healthy diet. Tip: use fresh garlic daily. Crush and let it sit 10 minutes before cooking for max potency. 8. Pomegranate juice. Vessel cleansing elixir pomegranate is packed with punicogens, antioxidants that protect vessel walls, reduce LDL oxidation, improve blood flow in arteries. A small study showed that drinking 1.7 ounces of pomegranate juice daily for 1 year reduced carotid artery plaque by up to 30% in older adults. Tip: choose 100% unsweetened pomegranate juice and limit to 4 ounces per day. 9. Flax seeds. Omega-3 and fiber combo flax seeds deliver ALA omega-3s, lignans, and soluble fiber, a triple benefit for cholesterol. Regular intake helps reduce LDL, support estrogen balance in postmenopausal women, lower inflammation. Tip: use ground flax in oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies, 1 tablespoon daily. 10. Dark leafy greens. The artery relaxers spinach, kale, and collards are high in nitrates, help vessels dilate. Fiber lowers LDL. Vitamin K supports vessel elasticity. Tip: cook a batch of greens each week to add to meals. A sample LDL-lowering day breakfast. Oatmeal with flax seeds, blueberries, and almonds. Snack: pomegranate juice plus hard-boiled egg. Lunch: lentil salad with avocado, olive oil, and arugula. Snack: handful of pistachios. Dinner: grilled salmon with sautéed spinach and quinoa. Bonus: garlic roasted chickpeas as a crunchy treat. Foods that sabotage arteries. While adding the right foods is key, also reduce or avoid processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli meats, trans fats, often in baked goods and margarine, excess sugar, spikes inflammation, refined carbs, white bread, pastries, deep-fried foods. These damage arteries, raise LDL, and speed plaque formation. Takeaway for today: plaque doesn't form overnight, and it doesn't disappear overnight either. But each meal is a chance to clean house. With the right foods, you're not just avoiding stroke, you're building healthier, younger arteries from the inside out. So the next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself, is this feeding my brain or clogging my arteries? Make the choice that supports your future, one bite at a time. What about you? Have you had your cholesterol checked recently? What foods have helped you bring your numbers down? Let's support each other with tips and stories. Drop them in the comments. Section 7. What to limit or avoid after 50. Most of us grow up with certain foods that bring comfort, convenience, or simply habit. But as we age, those same foods can silently increase our stroke risk, especially for women over 50. While we've focused so far on what to eat more of, this section is about what to eat less of or avoid entirely if you want to protect your brain and arteries for the long haul. Some of these may surprise you. 1. Excess sodium, the silent pressure raiser. Salt itself isn't the problem. It's the excessive sodium hidden in processed and restaurant foods that raises red flags. Too much sodium increases fluid retention, raises blood pressure, strains arteries over time. According to the CDC, nearly 90% of Americans exceed the recommended sodium intake, especially older adults. This contributes directly to hypertension, the #1 risk factor for stroke. Where it hides: canned soups, frozen dinners, salad dressings, deli meats, pickles, and sauces. Action tip: look for low-sodium labels. Rinse canned beans and flavor meals with lemon, garlic, or herbs instead of salt. 2. Trans fats, artery hardeners. Trans fats are created when liquid oils are chemically altered to stay solid at room temperature. Though largely banned in the US, they still appear in some margarine, non-dairy creamers, packaged baked goods, fast food fries, or pastries. Why they're dangerous: raise LDL, bad cholesterol; lower HDL, good cholesterol; increase inflammation. Trans fat consumption is strongly linked to atherosclerosis and stroke risk, especially in older women. Action tip: check labels for partially hydrogenated oils and toss any product that includes them. 3. Refined sugars and carbs. The inflammation igniters: white bread, sugary cereals, cakes, and cookies. These foods quickly spike blood sugar and then crash it, leading to insulin resistance, arterial wall damage, greater stroke, and cognitive decline risk. High sugar intake is also linked to increased triglycerides, which contribute to plaque buildup. Action tip: replace refined grains with oats, brown rice, and quinoa. Choose whole fruits instead of desserts or sweet drinks. 4. Processed meats. Stroke on a plate. Examples: bacon, sausage, ham, hot dogs, deli turkey. Why they're risky: high in sodium, contain nitrates, nitrites, which may damage blood vessels, often cooked at high temperatures, producing harmful compounds. A meta-analysis found that eating just 1 to 2 servings of processed meat per week increased stroke risk by up to 23%. Action tip: use lentils, grilled fish, or boiled eggs instead. If you eat meat, choose lean, unprocessed options. 5. Sugary drinks. Liquid danger. Soft drinks, energy drinks, sweetened teas, even fruit juice in large amounts deliver a flood of sugar that spikes blood sugar, increases abdominal fat, raises triglycerides. This creates a cascade effect that can damage blood vessels and raise stroke risk. In older women, daily sugary drink intake was associated with a 21% increase in stroke incidence, even if weight remained stable. Action tip: replace with herbal tea, infused water, or diluted juice. 6. Excessive saturated fat, a balancing act. Not all saturated fats are harmful, but large quantities from red meat, butter, and full-fat dairy can raise LDL cholesterol, promote arterial plaque, compete with healthy omega-3s. Action tip: use saturated fats moderately and focus more on monounsaturated, olive oil, avocado, and polyunsaturated fats, nuts, seeds, fish. 7. Ultra-processed snacks. Empty and addictive chips, packaged cookies, crackers, flavored rice cakes. They may seem harmless, but offer no fiber or protective nutrients, are usually high in refined oils and hidden sugars, encourage overeating and inflammation. Action tip: snack on walnuts, apple slices, or roasted chickpeas instead. 8. Alcohol, the hidden variable. Moderate wine intake may have vascular benefits, but excess alcohol is a known stroke risk factor, especially in women. It raises blood pressure, weakens vessel walls, impacts clotting. Women are more sensitive to alcohol's vascular effects due to body size and hormonal differences. Action tip: stick to no more than 1 drink per day and avoid drinking without food. 9. Health halos that mislead. Be cautious of foods marketed as low-fat, low-carb, or sugar-free. These often contain artificial sweeteners, hidden sodium, refined oils. They may look healthy, but lack the nutrients needed to protect your brain and heart. Action tip: always read the ingredient list, not just the front label. Why this is critical after 50. As we age, blood pressure naturally increases. Metabolism slows. The vascular system becomes more sensitive. This means that what you used to get away with in your 30s can become a stroke trigger in your 60s. But the flip side is powerful. By limiting the wrong foods, you allow the right ones to shine and your body to heal and protect itself. Mindful food swap chart. Instead of try this: white bread, 100% whole grain or sprouted bread; bacon or sausage, boiled egg or avocado; potato chips, roasted chickpeas or almonds, soda; sparkling water with lemon; flavored yogurt, plain Greek yogurt plus berries; cream-based sauces, olive oils, lemon, or hummus. Small switches, big impact. Takeaway for today: avoiding certain foods isn't about punishment, it's about clearing the path for healing. Every less salty bite, every sugar-free choice, every swap away from processed toward whole. These are quiet but powerful steps toward stroke prevention and vibrant aging. What have you stopped eating that made you feel better? Have you ever noticed a change in blood pressure, energy, or sleep when avoiding certain foods? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to learn from your experience. Section 8. Daily habits to anchor a stroke-safe lifestyle. You now know which foods to embrace and which to limit. But what truly protects your brain and blood vessels long-term is consistency. Not a crash diet, not perfection. Just small, steady actions repeated each day. In this final section, we'll explore lifestyle habits that support stroke prevention, especially tailored for women over 50. They may seem simple, but when practiced daily, these habits create a powerful shield for your heart, brain, and future. 1. Move gently, but move daily. Exercise doesn't need to be intense to protect your vessels. In fact, moderate, consistent movement lowers blood pressure, improves circulation, and reduces inflammation. According to the American Stroke Association, just 30 minutes of walking 5 days a week can reduce stroke risk by up to 27%. Morning walk around the block, gardening or dancing to music, chair yoga or stretching before bed, gentle water aerobics or tai chi. The goal is movement that feels good, not forced. 2. Hydrate with purpose. Dehydration makes blood thicker, increasing clot risk. It can also cause confusion, headaches, and fatigue, often mistaken for aging. Tips: aim for 6 to 8 cups of water daily, more if active or in heat. Start the day with a glass of water before coffee. Flavor with lemon, mint, or cucumber if plain water is hard to enjoy. Monitor urine color. It should be light yellow. Tea, broth, and high water foods like melon or cucumbers also count. 3. Prioritize restful sleep. Sleep is when your blood vessels repair and regenerate. Poor sleep increases blood pressure, inflammation, stroke, and heart disease risk. Women who consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night have a higher stroke risk, even with a healthy diet. Habits for better sleep. Keep a regular sleep schedule. Create a wind-down routine. Read, stretch, meditate. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Limit caffeine after 2 p.m. Even a 20-minute daytime nap can support brain health if nighttime sleep is disrupted. 4. Manage stress, protect your vessels. Chronic stress releases hormones that raise blood pressure, constrict vessels, and increase clotting risk. Over time, this wears down your cardiovascular system. Calming rituals. 10 minutes of deep breathing or guided meditation daily. Prayer or journaling to release tension. Gentle nature walks or quiet tea time. Saying no more often and simplifying your calendar. The key is not eliminating stress, but building routines to process and soften it. 5. Check your numbers regularly. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to blood pressure, cholesterol levels, blood sugar, especially after menopause. Many women feel fine until a stroke happens. Routine checkups catch silent risks before symptoms appear. Track at home. Invest in a home BP monitor. Keep a log of readings weekly. Ask your doctor about your stroke risk profile. Early action saves lives. 6. Plan meals with intention. Avoid last-minute decisions driven by hunger or stress. Meal planning supports balanced nutrition, budget-conscious shopping, less processed food. Ideas. Prep beans, grains, or chopped veggies ahead. Batch cook soups or stews rich in fiber and potassium. Keep healthy snacks visible. Nuts, fruit, boiled eggs. Use a list when shopping to stay focused. Think of your grocery cart as stroke prevention on wheels. 7. Stay connected. Socially, isolation raises the risk of stroke, depression, and cognitive decline in older adults, especially women. Loneliness has been shown to increase inflammatory markers and blood pressure. Connect in small ways. Call a friend during a walk. Join a local class, support group, or church event. Invite neighbors over for a tea. Volunteer at your local community center. Relationships are healing, and even a brief, heartfelt chat can lower stress and raise joy. 8. Nourish your mind as well as your body. Cognitive health and vascular health go hand in hand. Reading, puzzles, learning something new, they all improve blood flow to the brain. Brain boosters. Listen to audiobooks while walking. Try a new recipe from the Mediterranean diet. Learn a few words in another language. Play memory games or card games with friends. Stay curious, it's medicine for your mind. 9. Soak in natural light. Vitamin D supports immune health and blood vessel function. Low levels are common in older women, especially those who spend little time outdoors. Tips. Sit by a sunny window. Spend 10 to 20 minutes outside each day. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D level annually. Sunshine plus fresh air is a natural, mood-lifting tonic. 10. Create a rhythm, not rules. Rigid diets and strict rules often backfire, but daily rituals, small, comforting actions done with intention, can keep you on course for years. Examples: start each morning with water, movement, and a stretch. Enjoy a calm, sit-down lunch, even if simple. End each day with reflection or gratitude. Cook something nourishing once a day, even a snack. These tiny anchors hold you steady, even when life gets busy. Takeaway for today. A stroke-safe life isn't built on fear. It's built on love for yourself, your future, your family. It's built on choosing foods, movement, rest, and connection that honor your body and nourish your mind. You've learned what to eat, what to avoid, what your vessels need. Now it's about turning knowledge into rhythm. Not perfect, not pressured, just consistent, gentle care, one day at a time. Which of these habits do you already practice? Which one would you like to start this week? Let us know in the comments. We're walking this path together. Wind down recap. Let's review the journey. Why stroke prevention matters for aging women. How diet quietly shapes your blood vessels. Powerful stroke-fighting foods. The Mediterranean diet's unique protection. Potassium and magnesium's hidden strength. Foods that clear cholesterol and plaque. What to avoid after 50. Habits that hold it all together. Remember, healthcare is a daily journey. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. If you found this video useful, please share it with a loved one who could benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can walk together every day.